At the restaurant where he works part-time, a poor man pays for an elderly woman's meal. He had no idea that this small gesture of goodwill will result in a remarkable chain of events. A mystery box shows up on his doorstep the following morning, setting and initiate a sequence of events that will not only improve his financial circumstances, but also satisfy an emotional need he was unaware he possessed. Welcome to Mystic Tales, everyone. I'm thrilled to tell you a fresh story today. Our protagonist, Michael, is a man who had recently had some difficult circumstances at the start of the novel. He had been laid off from a corporation where he had spent many years working. Furthermore, a few months prior, his marriage had disintegrated. Michael was now having financial difficulties and lived in a tiny, unpretentious apartment. His money was running low, and he had no idea what the future would bring. To pay for his necessities, Michael took a part-time job at a nearby restaurant. Although it wasn't much, it was enough for him to survive. He has always been a good-hearted person in spite of his struggles. An elderly woman came into the restaurant one evening as he was wrapping up his shift. She appeared worn out and exhausted, as though she had had a difficult life. She counted a few coins in her pocket while sitting quietly at a table in the corner. She was struggling, and Michael couldn't help but notice. He chose to pay for her supper without hesitation. He only wanted to assist someone in need. He had no expectations of anything in return. With a kind grin and kind gaze, the elderly woman thanked him. After finishing her dinner, she said a modest "thank you" and left the restaurant without saying anything else. With no further thought, Michael returned to his routine. However, Michael was shocked by what transpired the following morning. The following morning, Michael discovered a tiny gift on his porch as he opened his front door. It had a simple message attached and was wrapped in plain brown paper. He took it up and went inside, perplexed. He unpacked the present with care while seated at his tiny kitchen table. He discovered an envelope containing cash inside, a sum so large it left him speechless. As he counted the cash, his hands were shaking. A handwritten note that said, "Thank you for your kindness," was included with the cash. You don't realize how much it meant. Michael was taken aback. Who would bring him such a present was unknown to him. There was no name or address, and the handwriting didn't seem familiar. He made an effort to remember if he had recently done anything that might have inspired such kindness. All he could think about was the supper he bought the elderly woman at the restaurant. Is she connected to this in any way? Although that didn't seem likely, he was at a loss for an explanation. Michael experienced a mixture of bewilderment and thankfulness during the day. He wanted to track down the accountable party so he could express his gratitude and learn why they decided to assist him. He would receive much-needed relief from the money, which would cover his rent and expenses for several months. He discovered yet another surprise at his door the following morning. This time, there was a tiny package with an additional note inside. It said, "For you, with gratitude." A set of keys was inside the package. He recognized the keychain's logo. It belonged to an automobile. Michael's heart was racing when he went outside and noticed a car parked close to his building. Compared to his previous, faulty car, this one was spotless and well-maintained. The car's lights flashed when he clicked the unlock button on the key. Michael felt overpowered. He had been receiving unexpected presents that were altering his life for the past 2 days. He was aware that he needed to identify the culprit. He made the decision to inquire. No one had noticed who had left the items when he spoke to his neighbors. He visited the neighborhood post office, but they were unable to locate any records of deliveries made to his house during those times. Thinking about the elderly woman once more, Michael experienced a mixture of curiosity and resolve. Perhaps she wasn't who she seemed. There might have been more to her tale. He made the decision to watch for her at the eatery. He might be able to get some answers if she came back. After a few days, Michael continued to reflect on the enigmatic presents. In the hopes of running into the elderly woman again, he went back to the restaurant every day. He would look at the door every time his shift was over, half expecting her to enter, but she never did. One evening, however, the door slowly opened as he got about to go to bed. She was the one. The elderly woman came in, but something was different this time. The ragged clothing he had previously seen her wearing was no longer on her. Instead, her posture was straight, her eyes were bright with purpose, and she wore a basic yet lovely clothing. As she walked toward him, Michael's heart raced. He had a lot of questions, but she interrupted him with a kind grin and remarked, "I've been waiting for the right moment to talk to you." They located a peaceful area of the restaurant, and she gestured for him to take a seat. The elderly woman gave her name as Evelyn. She clarified that on that first night, she wasn't who she appeared to be. She wasn't actually homeless at all. She stated in a steady, calm voice, "I've been blessed with wealth. However, there are moments when I enjoy moving among people without anyone recognizing me. I take this action to remind myself that there is still kindness in the world. And I was really moved when you paid for my supper without hesitation. You were kind even if you didn't know me or pass judgment on me." Michael tried to take in what she was saying, while listening in quiet. The fact that the woman he believed to be homeless was actually a wealthy person in disguise astounded him. Evelyn went on, "I wanted to express my gratitude in a way that would benefit you. Well, those are the gifts I left you. I was hoping that these would lessen some of the weight you've been bearing." Michael could not speak. Before he could find the right words to express his gratitude, Evelyn added something even more surprising. She added, "I want to give you more. But money isn't the only factor. You have potential, strength, and kindness, in my opinion. I want to assist you in a new manner." Uncertain of her meaning, Michael arched an eyebrow. Evelyn grinned and went on to explain. She stated, "I own a few businesses in town. Additionally, I could need someone as reliable and diligent as you. I'm providing you a job that will help you reconstruct your life in addition to improving your financial status." It was hard for Michael to believe what he was hearing. Evelyn was offering him a job in addition to providing him with enough money to get back on his feet. A genuine chance to make a new beginning. He was unaware that his small deed of kindness would have such a profound impact on someone's life. Still in disbelief, Michael questioned, "Why me?" With a genuine smile, Evelyn leaned forward. "Because you did it for no compensation. When you didn't have much yourself, you assisted me. People like you deserve a chance, and that type of selflessness is uncommon." Michael considered it for a while. For a very long time, he had been suffering and unsure of his life's path. This chance felt like a gift, one that offered hope as well as financial stability. Evelyn offered, and he accepted. She wasn't simply proposing any job, though. Along with the promise of fresh starts and personal development, it also came with obligations. Evelyn clarified that she was the owner of multiple companies and would assist Michael in moving into management after he figured things out. In addition to the high compensation, Michael was able to enjoy privileges that he had previously only dreamed of. Michael and Evelyn collaborated extensively over the ensuing weeks. She served as his mentor, offering him life and career advice. Their mutual regard and trust increased with the amount of time they spent together. What had begun as a straightforward gesture of generosity had now developed into something more profound. Michael came to understand that he was receiving more than simply a job and income as they collaborated. He was gaining a meaningful relationship, which was far more valuable. Since his divorce and job loss, Evelyn had filled a gap in his life by becoming a friend and mentor. It seemed almost too beautiful to be true that his life had changed. Because of a single act of kindness, he had gone from being lost and struggling to finding purpose and direction. His entire world seemed to have changed, and he felt genuinely hopeful for the first time in a long time. However, there were still surprises to come. Michael was wrapping up his job one day when Evelyn came up to him with a fresh proposal. She told him that she wanted to help him do even more because she had been considering how far he had come in such a short period of time. She said, "I'm not just giving you a job offer. I'd want to offer you a partnership. You've demonstrated your abilities, and I think that working together, we can accomplish much more." Michael was taken aback. A collaboration? It exceeded his wildest expectations. Even though he had made great progress, this was a completely new degree of opportunity and trust. Michael said, "I don't know what to say," with a mixture of appreciation and incredulity. Evelyn grinned broadly. "You deserve it. Along with your kindness, you've demonstrated commitment and moral character. Those are the attributes that I cherish the most. I think that if we band together, we can truly change things, not just for ourselves, but also for others." Michael couldn't help but think about how much his life had changed since that fateful evening when he paid for Evelyn's lunch as they went over the specifics. His life was drastically changed by a series of events that began with his small act of compassion. He had gone from barely making ends meet to having a stable income, a rewarding job, and a close relationship with someone who supported him. However, the benefits went beyond money. Michael and Evelyn grew close over time, becoming like family. Evelyn had been looking for someone who could share her vision and compassion for helping others, while Michael had been looking for stability and a sense of purpose. Michael proudly assumed his new position as Evelyn's business partner in the ensuing months. They collaborated to grow the companies, but more significantly, they made it a point to support the local community. They now assisted anyone in need, just as Michael had previously assisted Evelyn without asking anything in return. Michael learned a valuable lesson about the impact of kindness from the encounter. Everything could be changed by a tiny, seemingly inconsequential act, not only for the recipient, but also for the giver. Ultimately, Michael's life had changed drastically from its previous state. He had discovered a fulfilling relationship in addition to financial achievement. More than that, though, he had discovered that the most significant transformations may result from even the simplest acts of compassion. With his heart full and his life changed, Michael couldn't help but smile whenever he remembered the small gesture of buying an elderly woman food.